It's the scariest night of the year, outside of like election night. It's Halloween, my least favorite holiday. Santa is just itching to break out of that box, but he's still got a couple hours. Anyway, I heard this rumor. Yeah, that's right, a rumor. Never fallen for one of those before. Never. The rumor is that if you play 3 terrible clones of Mario Kart on Halloween night, an ancient curse will be unleashed that will destroy the world by the end of the year. And as we all know, every single rumor ends up being accurate, so I'm making a very stupid decision here. But this will be the one. Mark my words, this one will not end up being true. Only 3 clones? Maybe if it was 4 or 5, even 6 or 7, maybe. But 3? Not possible. But before I even delve into these video games, I should probably explain what a Mario Kart clone even is. We all know about Mario Kart, you know, the series that always manages to succeed even when the console it's on doesn't. Seriously, how did over half of the Wii U owners own this game? That's impressive. Naturally, a Mario Kart clone is a game that clearly looked at the extreme success of the Mario Kart series and tried to do it themselves. No one has succeeded yet. At all. Now, this isn't just any old racing game, oh no, there's a list of criteria that they have to follow in order to go from boring old racing game to bad, boring, and borderline copyright infringing. The first and most important is that it has to be a kart racer. Any other kind of racing game doesn't count. Basically just like little go-karts. Secondly, you need recognizable characters. That's the main reason Mario Kart initially took off. Mario. Now more people know Mario from Mario Kart, but originally it wasn't like that. And that's really it. Of course there's more, like having items and several different courses to race on that usually last about 3 laps or so, but those aren't exactly necessary for a Mario Kart clone, at least in my opinion. Now let's start our descent into the depths of somewhere with... What is that? And what is this music? The logo is so small and pixelated you can't even read it. Now, Shrek has had a good amount of these Mario Kart clones over the years. I mean, look at any console that released after the first movie and there's almost certainly some Shrek racing garbage on it. But I picked this one. Why? I don't know, the cover art was the funniest looking in my opinion. I mean, look at his head, why is it that big? Before I show the actual gameplay, if you are sensitive to flashing lights or have epilepsy or anything similar, genuinely beware, this game is like a seizure. The game is a very clear knockoff of Mario Kart, specifically Super Circuit. So many elements feel straight up ripped from that game, it's kinda shameless in some instances. The character selection screen is so similar, with characters in boxes and 3D models spinning while selecting. They even do the same head bob thing, this is ridiculous, like come on guys. Also the arrow before you turn is straight up from Super Circuit as well. Not like the arrow helped me or anything, because this game is genuinely terrible. It honestly kind of hurts my eyes to look at. The 2D Mario Kart games are like this as well. It's the weird not true 3D that these games use. But in Shrek Swamp Kart Speedway, that's a tongue twister, it is especially bad. It honestly just looks like the screen is flickering the entire time. Even if the game had an amazing art style and the most impressive game visuals ever made, it would still suck because these controls are awful. It's so slippery, I have almost zero control of the kart. Shrek better have gotten car insurance. I just slip off the track almost every turn. I could try drifting, but no. Whenever you bump into someone from behind, it pushes you back so far. And Shrek will not quit saying bye-bye. I almost muted the game at this point. There's items, but I honestly have no idea what they do. I hit an item box and got turned into a pumpkin, which made me lose any of the little control that I had. I don't know why. There's actually a decently sized character roster that consists of a bunch of characters that I don't know. Look, I haven't seen a Shrek movie in years. Sorry. You have 12 to choose from, which is actually larger than Mario Kart Super Circuit's roster. Good for you, Shrek. You beat the actual Mario Kart game in one category. Don't get too cocky. There's 16 courses in total, split up between 4 cups. I don't care about any of them. The music isn't good, I already brought it up on the title screen, but the other stuff is incredibly repetitive. That's basically all there is to say about Shrek Swamp Kart Speedway. It is not a good game. There's a reason it has 27% on Metacritic. But honestly, I'd recommend playing it at least once. It's one of those so bad that it's honestly hilarious kind of games, you know? Objectively terrible though. If you're gonna pick up a kart racer for the Game Boy Advance, just use your common sense and get Mario Kart. You know, I find it really funny that two animated characters that Chris Pratt voiced in big budget animated movies both have kart racing series, because yes, this is a series at this point. The first game, Garfield Kart, originally released on the Nintendo 3DS with box art that is literally just a mirrored version of Mario Kart 7's. I don't know how they got away with that. Like seriously, look at this. At least they made this game's more original. Garfield Kart Furious Racing, which is the game I'll actually be talking about, is a remake of the first game despite its name making it sound more like a sequel. There is a sequel though, Garfield Kart 2 All You Can Drift, and it actually only released about a month and a half ago, which means it's too new and still full price. That's why I'll be playing this game instead. Nintendo Life gave it a 2, so it's not the absolute worst, it's just getting there. But it's honestly not as bad as I thought it would be. But I fully expected this game to kill me, so it's not saying much. I mean, the controls aren't great. They're like the complete opposite of Mario Kart. Instead of pressing A to go forward, you press ZR for some reason, and to drift you press B. Why? Anyway, the two courses that I played weren't great. I mean, I honestly just don't have much to say about this game. There's not very many characters or karts, and every single kart is just a reskin of the same model. I mean, I guess that's like efficient, but it's still incredibly lazy. The controls are slippery, the drifting sucks, but I could see a kid getting a good amount of enjoyment out of this game if it's all they had. But that's the thing though. If you've got a Switch, chances are you've got Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, so just play that. But again, if there was nothing else, it might suffice. But that's not really a win for the game though, like, it's better than nothing. So Nintendo Life, this game is not a 2, it is at most a 3. So it isn't bad to the point of being downright hilarious like Shrek, Swamp Kart, Speedway. Instead, it's bad to the point of just being bad. It's the worst kind of bad, a boring kind of bad. Still playable and probably fine for kids, but not good in the slightest. If you're looking for something actually atrocious though, well, do I have something for you, you freak? This is M&M's Kart Racing, one of the most infamous and notoriously bad Mario Kart clones and just games in general on the Wii. M&M's Kart Racing is a game that I have been begging for ever since I first ate an M&M. Up until I learned of this game's existence, every time I saw an M&M, I would just think about how great it would be if they could drive cars. You would not imagine the excitement I felt when I saw this game for the first time. And guys, I regret to inform you that this isn't the high quality, well-made, and good M&M's Kart Racing game that we deserve. Maybe one day. This game is horrible. Are you surprised? I guess I shouldn't have expected anything considering the characters in this game are made with Carnauba wax. I will say though, I am playing the Wii version and there is a DS version of the game too, so maybe that one's better. I mean, probably. I'm not going to go play that version right now. The deal was 3 games and that's it. Visually, this game is atrocious. I understand that it's a Wii game and expecting high quality graphics from this thing is a little ridiculous, but still. The Wii does have a handful of games that still look really solid today, and it's safe to say that this is not one of them. And look at the water in Wii Sports Golf. I want to drink it. They try to do a weird mix of cartoony and realistic visuals, which is something the Wii just cannot pull off effectively. Like, this does not belong here. I also found it hard to determine when the finish line even was. It doesn't really matter that much, I guess. It's just a little jarring when the race suddenly ends without me expecting it. I also find it hilarious that your kart just kind of loses all control when you finish a race. It's not like Mario Kart where once you cross the finish line, your kart will follow a predetermined path while you watch the results. And M&M's Kart Racing, they just die. The courses are not well designed at all. It was way too difficult to navigate in this game, and that's mostly at the fault of the controls. The game is genuinely one of the worst feeling games to control I've ever played. Of course, since this is on the Wii, you have to use motion controls to steer, and they are just way too sensitive. And when you inevitably get stuck in a corner or something, you're going to have to tediously turn around since there's no reverse button. You use the 2 button to accelerate, so you'd assume that 1 is the reverse button, right? There's a dedicated honking button for literally no reason as far as I can tell. Joke's on me for expecting M&M's Kart Racing to have good game design. And while they are made exponentially worse due to the controls, they wouldn't really be good regardless. They just don't feel well made for a kart racer. On the tracks, you collect coins that you can use to buy new karts, unlike in Mario Kart where coins just unlock stuff at random. So good on you, M&Ms, you've got one thing over Mario Kart 7. Now a thing I found odd about this game is that there aren't any items. The only items are the coins that I mentioned a few seconds ago. So the races end up being pretty boring. Although that's honestly probably at the game's benefit, since the game controls terribly enough as is. I can't imagine how much worse it would be if there were items flying everywhere. Could you imagine trying to navigate this garbage with items going all over the place? That's the scariest thing that will happen to me tonight. That thought. There's also other M&Ms Wii games, by the way, so the terror didn't end here. Maybe I'll talk about those another time, but that's all I have to say about Maybe I'll talk about those another time, but that's all I really have to say about M&M's kart racing. It is so bad, much like Shrek, I'd honestly recommend it, if just to see how good we have it with Mario Kart. Even the worst Mario Kart games are better than this. So I don't know why I decided to play these, even though the curse is certainly fake. Playing this trash was a curse enough.